Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere out there. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Wednesday, July 15, 2026, and this right here, the thing that you're watching, it's called the TNAM Daily Show here on the new American media, because the old American media has failed you. Can anybody confirm in chat if we are streaming on Rumble? On today's program, the president is set to address the nation. What's going on with this Georgia press conference announcement, major development? Is it going to be a big nothing burger, to paraphrase Van Jones? Or is this finally going to be the first big clack on the stack of dominoes that's going to bring down the entire treasonous plot to overthrow this country and really destroy it from the inside out and try to turn it into something it was never designed to be? President Reagan once said something along the lines, forgive me and allow me to paraphrase, freedom is not a birthright passed down to the next generation in the bloodstream. It must be fought for by every generation, lest we lose it. I had Blake Wally on TNAM PM show, trying to do evening shows from time to time, or consistently. We'll see how that goes. And just trying to determine if we're going to keep this country, if we're going to lose it, if it's going to change into something else. Will it be changed from the inside out? Check out that show. But Blake and I, Blake sort of mentioned, and I'll echo it, sort of a reluctant journalist, if we could call it such. Kind of like, I don't want to do this, but someone needs to be doing it. Blake and I disagree on stuff. The show used to be called the Agree to Disagree Show. We need to have conversations. So we talked about the Charlie Kirk weapon conversation, and Blake has reached some conclusions that I haven't reached yet. He thinks, I'll check out the clip. Blake shared it on his Facebook stream. Make sure you're following him. It might be out on X as well. You know what? I'm not seeing that we're streaming on Rumble, but I'm getting assurances that we are. So I'm just going to restart this device and see if there's some sort of glitch in updating the live streams. But if you can see it, that counts. By the way, hit the thumbs up button, hit like, hit subscribe, everybody. And click on the share. It's like the arrow button. It'll copy the link to this show. Text it to somebody. Some of your friends, your family, your neighbors, other smart people, and invite them here into the bar. My name's Brian. I'm the bartender. We're going to discuss the things on the television screens behind me. So, of course, we're trying to figure out what this address to the nation is supposed to be about tomorrow, as hundreds of agents are descending upon Fulton County, Georgia, after Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard was there pseudo recently. And then she stepped aside, so now it's a new guy, Bill Pulte. Will he get the permanent nod at this position? Or are they going to ride it out on a temporary basis? Speaking of ride it out on a temporary basis, what's going on with Mitch McConnell? Why in the world won't he step aside? He's not seeking re-election. He's at the end of his life. He's breaking down. He's freezing. He's falling. And we still don't have a real proof of life other than, what did we get, a photograph that's been dissected from many people saying this isn't real, this isn't current, this proves nothing. And of course, the question, why hasn't President Trump gone down there to speak with him directly? Why aren't we holding a conference call with all the members of Congress to talk with him? Are you with it? Does he need to step aside? Does he need to be removed as incapable? Or does the deep state really, really, really want the Republicans to be down a vote? And who would name the replacement? And how soon would the replacement get in there? There's a couple of questions there. There's obviously question marks, unanswered questions, theories, strategies. I just grow weary of strategies Okay. It does show that it's, yeah, it was some sort of glitch on my phone. I had to restart the device, and now it does show that the feed is here. Fantastic. Hello, Look a Cook. Hello, Trash Panda Texas over there in Rumble. Everybody, please make sure you're following us in all the places. But I don't so much care about teams, the Republicans against the Democrats. Just address blinking red lights in our country. Just address it. And I guess there's a difference in opinion of whether we should have people in this country that were not invited, that don't respect this place, that haven't gone through a rigorous screening profile. One of those drivers, geez, what state was it? Was it California? An illegal alien who couldn't understand the language, couldn't read the road signs. We saw another one pulled over. We have some videos to share with you. These are very dangerous people operating very dangerous equipment at very high speeds on the roadways with our families. They're not legally allowed to be here. They don't understand the language. They can't comprehend what all these signs mean. The video from yesterday that I shared, I hope it's in a platform that I can share with you today. The guy didn't understand what his high beams were. He could hardly speak broken English. He was speeding. Why do you have your high beams on? You know, maybe we've all made a mistake with high beams before, but you can at least articulate the understanding of what it is. And if we've never been taught about high beams, maybe we shouldn't have a driver's license, but say we forgot, or, oh, thank you so much for reminding me. I didn't realize I couldn't see that little dash light from here. It was being blocked by my steering wheel. I didn't see it. Thank you for letting me know. I don't want to blind people coming in my direction. We're getting dangerous, reckless situations, or violent Marxist, socialist, communist revolutionaries trying to overthrow this nation and mold it into their image to turn it into shit. And yeah, if you think the midterms are going to be anything other than a red wave, perhaps the red wave that's been stolen from us on 3 separate, maybe 4 separate election cycles now, 5, maybe. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you. Arnold checking in. Hello, Arnold. Thank you for being here. By the way, guess who ordered a new office phone and a new connector cable? Arnold was gracious enough to say, hey, I like your show. How do I donate? How do I send you a Western Union? I go, Western Union? I don't know. How about we first try smoke signals, Morse code, and carrier pigeons? Let's wrap a satchel. Let's wrap a satchel. Hold on. What am I trying to say? Let's take a leather drawstring pouch and fill it with purple seashells, and we'll affix it to the back of this turtle, and we'll send it along the XYZ River. And it shall arrive in a fortnight. And then I go, oh, it's Alberta Arnold. He's up in Canada. They've frozen bank accounts. I won't explain Arnold's story, but he's in Canada, and you recall from the truckers rally, bank accounts were being frozen, stolen. That's how far they were willing to go to keep pushing their COVID tyranny on us. They had grand plans for how they were going to abuse us as humans during COVID. And thankfully that stopped. And yes, President Trump was a big reason why that stopped. And no, the LeBron James championship for the Los Angeles Lakers in the bubble in Orlando was not a cheapened championship. In some ways, I believe the Kelsey Brothers podcast, we're talking about maybe that being the most difficult championship of all time. And it was things like the sports leagues that helped pry the world back open when the global tyrants were trying to constrict, tighten, and tamp it down and hold it down. Who knows how long? Who knows what their grand plan actually was? And at the mere mention of hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin, the horse-paced conspiracy theorists came out of the woodwork. Who were they paid by? You know, there's rumors about what this conversation is going to be like tomorrow with President Trump. Will it be about 2020 election fraud? You know, there's little hints that are dropping. Could it be about foreign government interference? And could Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela, who's been captured by the commander-in-chief, by the way. Do you think it's possible that one of perhaps many vulnerabilities in our voting systems have now been exposed, and we're about to learn it just in time to pass the Save America Act and make sure that the Democrats only get about 19% vote across the board and are completely demolished forever as a legitimate political party? How many times have the Democrats been called a domestic terrorist organization masquerading as a political party? Well, don't want to put the cart ahead of the horse. Don't want to hold my breath. I've been let down on MLK files, RFK files, JFK files, UFO files. Did I say UFO files? Epstein files. Oh, it's gonna be big. They said there's a lot that, look, crooked Joe Biden and the deep state were holding it. They held it back for a long time, and those days are done. I don't know. Keep waiting for the indictments. Fingers crossed, all eyes on whatever's about to happen tomorrow. By the way, if there's going to be something happening tomorrow, how about it's a 3 a.m. pre-dawn raid with CNN cameras like they did to Roger Stone, or invading Mar-a-Lago and Jack Smith. More information's coming out about Jack Smith, by the way. Will there ever be any accountability? Fani Willis politically persecuting President Trump, violating his civil liberties? The president's already said, I believe he said it, I think we read it the other night, I believe it's John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, that they didn't win. They've been installed and they're illegitimate. What happens next? How would that swing the power in Congress? What sort of dominoes fall to Maricopa County, Arizona? What happens in Dearborn, Michigan, Detroit, Michigan? What happens in Minneapolis, Minnesota? What happens in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? What happens across this country? Los Angeles, Spencer Pratt. We're all just waiting. We're all just kind of in a holding pattern. But we'll unpack what we know on today's program, the TNAM Daily Show. Smash the thumbs up button. Share the show with a friend. Invite the peeps to come into the bar. When my shift is over, I will slide you the check to hang out here for lunch for a little while. And it'll say $0 and free cents. That's how we roll. But there's a tip jar at the bottom. If you want to toss a couple silver coins into my bucket back there, it's always appreciated. Bartenders work off tips, and guitar players singing songs on the street corner, as I like to kind of feel like I'm doing here. And by the way, I got G, I got C, I got D, I got A. I'll do a power chord F. I'll play a little bit, even though I'm a drummer mainly. The tip jar. Back to Alberta Arnold. I will try the Western Union thing. I guess I need to place a phone call from the office number to connect so that his government can confirm that I'm not some awful person and it's not money laundering. No, it's a donation. It's a gift from a friend. You guys are friends. These are gifts from friends, by the way. It helps keep the lights on. And if you enjoy the program, let me put it up on the screen here at the bottom. Please consider going to Patreon, The New American Media, and sign up to be a sponsor. There's different tier levels. I think there's like $1,000 a month, $100 a month, $15 a month, $5 a month. Hey, I humbly ask for your support if you do enjoy the content, because I'd like to keep bringing it to you. However, life doesn't stop and the bills do keep coming in. And so the hours that I dedicate to this program need to have a proper offset. So in the absence of having the advertising sponsors that many shows of this size or larger or smaller have, we are crowdfunded. So please consider going to Patreon, The New American Media, and you just click it, and then you become a member. It's very easy. A monthly member. You can do the same on Rumble. You can do the same on YouTube. Also, once you set up your credit card, and just take a little credit card with a little balance. You don't have to use your main card if you're worried about getting hacked, and that's fair. I respect that. Alberta Arnold asking to try something Western Union. Bro, your country's been hacked. Your accounts have, your fellow citizens' accounts have been frozen. It's not right. We watched it in real time as the tyranny was taking hold under Trudeau. And they're trying to take a stranglehold across the globe into globalism, Marxism, communism, socialism, Dadaism for that matter. If it ain't capitalism, if it isn't rugged individualism, and if it isn't just some little blend of trying to keep it as capitalist as possible with a little bit of a reasonable safety net, that's even too far, a bridge too far for too many. You know, having some sort of backslide mechanism that keeps you from, you know, it's like hooking up a carabiner so you don't fall off the roof. Put your harness on, and if you slip on the tiles working on the roofing, you know, maybe slide down in and I tweaked my neck on that, or kind of rolled my ankle when I fell, but luckily this harness kept me from falling 13 stories. I think there can be a case made for some sort of reasonable, modest backstops, as long as not a single dollar is being wasted. Take not, want not. You want to come into my fridge and say I'm starving, but you're 100 pounds overweight. And you say, but my family. And you look and your kids are all 50 pounds overweight. You're clearly gathering calories from somewhere. It's not the dire situation you claim it to be. Stop stealing. And they say, no, but I need it. I need it. I want it. I have to have it. Well, why does your need to have trump my ability to be left alone? And if you're going to ask for something or demand it or become part of some criminal cartel mafia that's shaking people down and forcibly taking food from your fridge, which is what the government is, it's a force used, it's a power dynamic. Do this, comply or die, because they have the weapons. In Iran, they have all the weapons, and the people have none. Canada, England, across Europe, the bad guys have all the weapons. You're getting brutalized by them. And it's one of the things that makes America great. Here's a reminder, though. Having some tools at your disposal does not make you capable of defending your life in a quick, you have 5 seconds to get your act together and defend yourself, or less. Any more than having a guitar collecting dust in the corner of your room or sitting locked away in a closet makes you a musician. You need to get out and practice it and become proficient at it. We need to become proficient at governing ourselves. But those people that come to your refrigerator saying, hey, let me have some of that. You go, who are you? I'm your neighbor. Where do you live? What do you mean? I live over there. You do? How long have you been here? I haven't seen your kids in school. I just got here. Oh, you immigrated to this country. No, I snuck in. Oh, you snuck in and now you're demanding shit out of my fridge? Okay. I think we've now escalated this situation, and that's what the Democrats have intentionally done to this country, flooding the nation with uninvited, illegal alien invaders. What do they have planned next? We watched what they did during the Summer of Love 2020. Burn their blue cities down while threatening Supreme Court justice members. And by the way, didn't you see Amy Coney Barrett looking terrified, talking about the death threats that she's received because some people don't agree with her opinion on things? That's what the left does. The left gets violent. And so we cannot become indifferent to public affairs lest we be ruled or give a sanction to being ruled by inferior men. Now are the times that have been sent to try men's souls. And yeah, heavy is the head that wears the crown, and ignorance is bliss. Wouldn't it be nice to take the blue pill and, in the immortal words of Maynard James Keenan, go back to sleep? He continues in that song, swinging to the rhythm of the New World Order and counting bodies like sheep to the rhythm of the war drums. The boogeymen are coming. The boogeymen are coming. Put your head down, go to sleep to the rhythm of the war drums. Speaker Mike Johnson is out there talking about the dangers of communism. This democratic socialist takeover of the Democrat Party. This is not insignificant. This is not good. but it's also clarifying in a way that I can only say thank you for taking off your second Scooby-Doo mask. But wait a minute, Mr. Jones, I thought he's over here. Hold on. Psst. Randy, I knew it all along. The masks are off. The globalists. The plan to overthrow and destroy this nation as we know it is afoot. And it's been afoot for about 20 years. The Obama doctrine and the deep state agendas to steal our civil liberties and ruin this nation. Remember, we're just 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America. Fundamental transformation. I love how Glenn Beck would point that phrase out and go, think about that. If you go to your significant other, your wife or your husband, and say, honey, I love you. I love you. Oh, you're the best. I'm so happy you're in my life. Also, I have a plan in place in 5 days to fundamentally transform you into something radically different. Yeah, I don't think you love that person the way that you're claiming. You keep using that word. It does not mean what you think it means. Inconceivable! I was out recently and somebody had a shirt on that was referencing that. And I hit him with the inconceivable and he laughed. He goes, that was good. Anytime you see a Princess Bride fan in the wild, I got to unleash that impression. And of course, because Kenneth is here in the chat, I know Kenneth loves the inconceivable as well. But yes, we're going to talk about the stories. Hit the thumbs up button, hit like, hit subscribe. Like I said, Rumble Rant, Super Chat, if you'd like to throw something in the tip jar. It really, gallon of gas is $4. How many gallons of gas does it take to fill up? I don't know, $80 worth. How long does it take to just raise that amount of funds? Like everything you do is super appreciated. It goes right to the electric bill. It goes right to, the internet service. It goes right to the equipment cost to keep this up and going. Your support matters. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody. And very soon I will have that new office line, Alberta Arnold, because I've tried 2 telephones now with 2 different batches of failures plugged into my telephone service that I assume is working. But I will even try Western Union. You can do Rumble Rant, Super Chat, as well as Venmo, Cash App. That's my name, Brian Engelman, or PayPal, fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com is the email address. So that is all scrolling at the bottom of the screen if you would like to see it. So without further delay, I welcome you to this bar. Share the show with a friend. Invite somebody to come join us. And buckle up, buttercups, because the TNAM Daily Show starts now.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.
All right, everybody. Hello, everyone in chat. How much is a gallon of gasp? A gallon of gasp. That's funny. Kenneth does prefer the blue slushy to the red slushy. Old Mr. Homer. You must try the purple slushy. It's delectable. Thanks, everyone, for being here. All right, let's go to our Instagram feed for The New American Media. We ask that everybody follow us. They are playing so many games. Every time we add followers, Instagram subtracts followers. I don't know what it's going to take to cross the 1,000-person threshold. I don't know if somebody out there wants to, if 10 of you want to create 3 brand new Instagram accounts for the sole purpose of following The New American Media, that'll get us past 1,000 and we can stream this show onto Instagram. They keep messing with us. I mean, we were 2 or 3 followers away and they batch unfollowed 10, then 10, then 10, 3 days in a row. YouTube, I disputed 2 copyright claims that they put on 3 of our recent 2 recent shows and 1 old show. 2 have been resolved. There is no copyright claim stuff, or we had to edit a segment out. And the other one has 17 more days to discover. But yeah, each platform has their own way of making sure the New American Media doesn't grow, doesn't expand, that we can't have a line outside the door wrapped into the parking lot waiting to come in here and try our food. You know? Arnold saying it's probably your service provider agreement with you. If your plan coverage is USA only, your attempts will fail. No, I don't think there's a problem with the office line making international calls. I don't think so. I don't think there's any restriction. It's voice over internet protocol. I believe it's just sort of open-ended. The problem I was having, number one, was with one of my connecting cables. One of the clasps had broken off, but I thought it still worked, and I was getting a dial tone, but it wouldn't connect so I could dial out. Then the second device, it's a handheld charger. It wouldn't charge after 30 minutes. So I don't know if it could charge or if it needs a new battery bank added to it. And by the time you replace the battery to the handset, why don't you just get one? So those devices have been ordered, and I will keep you posted. But thank you all for being here. Yeah, let's see if how many of you can I get 10 of you to start 3 new Instagram accounts to follow us from? Where are we at? 73, so we need 27. We would need 9 people creating 3 Instagram accounts to follow the New American Media so that we can try to go live. They took that service away from us. They had no reason to take that away, but they didn't want us streaming the show to the normies. Anyhow, fun times. It's always something. Every time you get some momentum, the deep state messes with your channel. And if you mention it, you sound like a kook. You're paranoid. You make excuses. You're just not good at what you do. Some of that shit I get in the comments section. Some of it is self-talk. Some of it you hear in conversations. Either way, it's just I don't like excuses. I like growth. So if you like the show, please help us grow in any way you can. All right, let's talk about the neck. I did listen to a good show. I would like to direct you to it. Or maybe I could play a little. Maybe I'll play a little bit of it. Bob France on Strictly Speaking. I had the privilege of filling in for him a couple weeks ago on his program on Rumble. Follow Strictly Speaking. He had a guest on going through the ballistics and what happens when a 30-06 is fired and could it have caused the damage that took out Charlie Kirk. And some people have looked at the evidence and said, yep, that proves there's no way that could have happened. I don't know that I've reached that conclusion. I don't know that I've been able to rule that out when I'm listening to gun experts tell me otherwise. Anyway, this is on the Blaze Media. What is this, John Doyle show? I guess I'm following it. I don't remember following it, but let's take a watch to this about the neck conversation with Charlie Kirk, because it's a big one in conversation right now. And we got the next hearing coming up. Geez, what is it? September? August, September, like 2 months from now, roughly, a month and a half. No volume. Come on.
Insists no 30-06 could possibly behave this way. The round blasted into Charlie Kirk's neck, crushed his vertebra, and ricocheted downward toward his heart, only to be stopped dead by his legendary Superman neck.
Did you see it? Did you know?
So these videos are going around mocking the idea that this 30-06 could have caused the damage that's claimed by the prosecution, who says it was Tyler Robinson who fired this. And the casings were engraved. Look, it's etched. It's literally etched. It's so obvious. Some people have looked at the evidence and said, nope, I don't see it at all. Anyway.
Notice that whatever ballistics expert made this video, the guy who thinks we're a bunch of retarded goy slaves for believing that Shroon or Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk, apparently he thinks that bullets still have their shell casings after they've been fired. These people are literally libtards. We literally need to go back 10 years and talk about AR-15s because you...
And he's breaking down this video how stupid it was because the shell casing is left behind. That shell casing doesn't go at Charlie Kirk. That's found or not found on top of a roof, and the officers responding either had body cameras or they didn't, or they malfunctioned at the perfectly wrong time. Who knows? But just breaking down, you know, and obviously this video is tongue-in-cheek. It's being very sarcastic, saying there's no way this could have happened. I don't know where this video came from, if it was Candace or some other source. Who knows? But they're clearly being smartasses in the video. But he breaks down and explains, like, please understand what you're talking about if you're going to try to put stuff like this out there to sway the general public, whether this could have happened or not happened.
People are so stupid. I understand the video is supposed to be satirical. It's supposed to make fun of those
Okay, so he gets that point.
to believe the official narrative. People are saying they're skeptical that a 30-06 round from a hunting rifle would not have left an exit wound after striking Charlie in the neck. So don't pay attention to the fact that there are numerous incidents actually of things like this happening in war zones. Don't pay attention to the fact that ballistics experts have confirmed that this can happen. Don't pay attention to the fact that bullets, like, very famously don't always behave in the way they're expected to behave, which is why, by the way, we even have, like, ballistics gel. Photos were released of the ammunition recovered from Tyler Robinson. Subsequently, it was analyzed by this account on X called Phoenix Ammunition. They've got the Remington head stamp on the casing, a blunted tip, and he points out that this is a Remington core-locked soft point round, which he says are specifically designed to deform, slow down, and prevent an exit wound.
They're designed to perforate, slow down, and prevent an exit wound. This exact type of ammunition is designed to slow down and fragment.
He says they're available literally everywhere for sporting and hunting purposes. Of course, we know Tyler's background with sporting and hunting. He also says 16 out of the 17 30-06 varieties manufactured by Remington, they're using some kind of expanding, deforming, or fragmenting bullet, and only one of them actually uses a full metal jacket that would be expected to leave an exit wound. If you know anything about hunting, you are trying to specifically have a situation where the bullet is doing exactly what we see in the photos of these bullets, right? It is fragmenting, it is distorting such that it can cut into soft tissue, veins, bounce around inside of you. It's not actually the case of simply being designed to freaking, like, blow your head clean off. So I get,
yeah, there's sort of this misconception that bullet go in, bullet make hole. 30-06 make hole this big. 22 make hole this big. It's not like you. Jeez, am I gonna be able to do this? There, you're seeing the green screen. You're seeing behind the scenes. Oh, look, it goes in and takes out this circular hole. It empties everything in that space. It's gone. It's like, well, that's not, like, really, no. It fragments, it bounces around, causes as much damage inside as possible. Doesn't just open a hole. So what say you? Was the ballistic evidence provided enough to warrant going to trial on this? Should it count in a mistrial or dropping the charges because there's no way this could happen? How do you feel about the ballistics component of this story?
yes, apparently in their thinking, the Mossad, the CIA, whatever it was, had Tyler Robinson climb onto the roof because we've got that footage, jump off the roof with the rifle because we got that footage, but not actually take the shot. But this was all done so that the people wouldn't wake up to the reality of the exploding microphone. That's your theory? This is all entertainment for these people. It's just totally not serious.
While conspiracy theorists insist no 30-06 could possibly...
So there it is. Clicking on ads. I wonder if I could play a minute of this show today. It's going to let me. There we go. I wonder if I can get right to it. Maybe it's at the top of the hour. Yeah, let's play a little bit of this. This is a conversation. Bob's had a couple really good shows lately. Bob had a roundtable of data center pro and con conversation a couple days ago, yesterday. What's up, Unholy Hoax? How are you? Yeah, so check that one out too. Just the pros and cons of what's going on with data centers, energy generation, pollution, water usage, cooling the chips, tax incentives, noise concerns, 5G, or like a lot of good conversation from that show. But let me just play a little bit of this because it's a topic that Blake and I got into on the night show, the TNAM PM show. I don't claim to be a ballistics expert. This is a moment I wish my brother were around. I'd probably have him on as a guest, an NRA certified instructor. But, Anthony Fauci helped create COVID and release COVID and cover up the origin of COVID so we couldn't get proper protocols to treat COVID, and mandated that there's a one-size-fits-all approach to stopping and treating COVID that did not involve ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and monoclonal antibodies, things that were proven in some cases to help some people, at least according to some reports. And no, my brother got remdesivir, and then they convinced him to take the intubation tube, and he never got off that intubation tube. But yeah, the brain inside of that brother of mine was an NRA certified instructor, and he knows a lot about this stuff. I would love to pick his brain. Aside from all the other personal reasons why I don't want to be without my only sibling, why anybody would want to go through that. Of course, nobody would. It's just the brain. All right, tell me what do you know about this round? Is it possible? Just walk us through. So that's what Bob does here. He brings on a guest, someone he's known for a long time. Let's just watch a little bit of it.
Illegal alien.
And it's a good reminder to go follow Bob's channel. If you're not following him already, go follow him on Strictly Speaking Unfiltered. Would you? Here we go.
Deported. Criminal record or no?
I'm going to speed it up on the playback.
All of them. That's a 12-point victory. That's a landslide. Let them know that we back ICE every single step of the way. All right, I want to get into this now. Like I said, Chris Lesh wrote that great piece for the Daily Wire, and I need somebody to break it down and make sense of it in a way that I simply cannot do. And so I want to welcome now to our program the politically incorrect mechanic, who is a great mechanic, not great on camera though. Can you change that at all? Can you stand up or something so you're not?
I am standing up. I'm in an automotive garage.
I know you are. There, that's better. You're good right now. Better? Way better framing. Yeah.
I hate looking down and trying to get used to looking at the camera up there instead of looking at the computer screen. So.
You're perfect the way you are right now, Charlie.
Right.
Charlie, for those who have never met you before, I want to introduce him. Charlie Kalani is our friend. And by the way, he's the guy I'm always talking about when I do this. Ta-da! Charlie's Auto Repair in Lakewood. He's getting ready to do some of those auto repairs right now. 216-470-0170 is the number to call if you are in Northeast Ohio and you are in need of said repair.
So he's known this dude for a while.
Repairs. But Charlie is also more than just a great mechanic and a patriot. Charlie is he's a firearms expert. He's what the left might call a gun nut. He's an expert and a collector of weaponry, advanced and otherwise, as well as ammunition. And so he's the guy that I wanted to kind of help us understand what Chris Lesh wrote about here in this article about the 30-06 lie. The 30-06 always has an exit wound lie, Charlie. That's, of course, what the conspiracy theorists are all trying to say. So let's start with, I shared the article with you when I first read it 2 days ago, and I know you read it as well. Give me just a short summary of the points that Chris is making here about not the 30-06 rifle, which is not the real question here, but the type of round that was used to kill Charlie Kirk, because that's the compelling factor here about exit wound versus no exit wound. So
the round that they used, that was used allegedly, is a Remington Corlock soft tip 150 grain bullet. 150 grains is a unit of weight measurement of how much it's an extremely small unit of measurement, and the reason they use an extremely small unit of measurements is for more precision. It's a very popular hunting cartridge. It's designed to unload all of the energy behind it immediately on impact. Same principle as a hollow point bullet that, you know, a police officer keeps in his firearm or the average person keeps in their firearm. You don't want over penetration. So the bullet is designed to expand and open as much as possible, because the faster it opens, the more surface area there is, the more resistance there is. And the faster it stops, the faster it takes down whatever the target is. For reference, and I don't know, felt kind of funny when I realized this, but I actually have the exact same ammunition that in my storage closet. That was.
Did you bring one with you?
I did. I have it. Yeah, I have it right here. Just for reference, you can see about 3 inches long from back to front. The overwhelming majority of that is casing. The bullet itself is. Sorry, I can't. The bullet itself stops right about there, inside where it's crimped into the. So the projectile is not, it's not some monster projectile. And
explain that, though, Charlie. Give us more on that. So that 3-inch bullet cartridge, yeah, that 3-inch cartridge. The majority of that, about 2/3 of it, is casing. So when it exits the barrel of the gun, the muzzle and the barrel of the gun, when it exits, that whole 3-inch piece of equipment there, that cartridge, is not flying through the air.
No, just a copper colored part. So this bullet's made in 2 pieces. It has a copper jacket, and then the very, very tip. And I'm sorry if you can't see this. I hope you can. If you can see the tip, kind of looks like a pencil. Kind of looks like pencil lead, right? Because it is lead. That's the lead. That's the tip of the lead core. This layer on top is extremely thin. It's just a jacket. And what happens is when this impacts something, this soft tip begins to mushroom out, and as it mushrooms out, it rips this copper back. The copper, when it gets ripped back, it's not going to just smoothly mush out. It's going to tear, it's going to fragment, and then subsequently the lead inside is also going to fragment. But the only part, everything from here back, the brass casing stays in the firearm. The copper part is the only part that leaves.
And the casing is what ends up. The casing is ultimately what ends up on the ground, right?
Exactly. That's what gets ejected when the rifle is cycled.
Do you think most people know? Because I think what the media's tried to do, as well as the conspiratorial podcasters who are just getting rich off of this, they want people to think that full 3-inch cartridge travels through the air, hit Charlie Kirk in the neck, and stopped inside his body. If that whole thing like that went through, it'd be almost like a spear,
right? Like a missile.
Yeah, right. And it probably would create a massive exit wound on the other side. But most people have no earthly idea about that. That's why I wanted to do this with you, because
I don't know that I would. I mean, I would hope people aren't that dumb. I mean, I would expect that out of some ignorant moms demand action garbage propaganda, but.
Charlie, there are millions of people who watch Candace Owens every day. Yes, they are that dumb. Yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, there are millions of people, and I sit here and throw stones, but I mean, the reality is there are a whole lot of people that are taken in because they don't know these facts. And that's why I brought you on, to explain them more to me and everybody watching as well. So as far as the bullet goes, and focusing on the soft part of the soft tip of that as well. And I'm looking at the article that I put up there that Chris Lesh wrote about here. He said that the tip, where did this part go here? The close-up views of the fragmented deformed bullets. No, that's not the part. He talked about how soft that tip is, you could almost write with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, here it is. He said, on contact with tissue or bone, this particular type of ammunition, this particular type of round that you are holding right now, mushrooms rapidly, increases frontal area, and transfers all of its kinetic energy into the animal, because it's primarily a hunting cartridge, into the animal, or in this case, the target. And that's the entire point. It doesn't always exit. In fact, it often doesn't exit at all when it does its job. The lead tips on these are so soft, you can write on paper with them. And that's not something people think about if they think about a bullet. And that's one of the things that I think that Candace and the nut jobs are counting on, is people not having any earthly idea about that. They're counting on people being ignorant. And if you have to study something with as much technical knowledge and information there is, most people are like, the attention spans are so short. They don't want to have to do the work, to listen to a person like you, to read a person like Chris, any other firearms experts. And they're counting on people to be, as you said, dumb a few moments ago, aren't they?
Well, not only that, but I think first of all, I think people, the most information they learn about ballistics of firearms and bullets and whatnot comes out of movies. And you see something like Indiana Jones, where he shoots a guy and it goes through 3 of them. They think that's fact. When in reality, a bullet, there's a reason why barrels are rifled, so that they put a twist inside the barrel, so the bullet follows that twist as it's traveling through the barrel and out of it. And that's to make the bullet spin. Because when it spins, it ends up being like a gyroscope, and it's more stable as it flies through the air. That doesn't mean it can still can't be impacted by wind and things of that nature. But when it hits a target, you immediately get forward resistance. Okay, so it's hitting something head on. But 2, there's lateral resistance on the sides of the bullet as it goes in, because it's spinning. So now it's going in, and here, this is kind of sorry, I'm trying to talk Italian to everybody here, but as it spins, it's gonna rub whatever it's going into on the sides. That doesn't happen uniformly. Okay, so when that doesn't happen uniformly, it puts uneven forces on it, which is going to now cause it to pitch, roll, spin, tumble. So for anyone to think that they can predict what a bullet is going to do when it hits something, it's completely outside the realm of possibility.
Now, I guess that's where the retort to that point in the conversation is, okay, so you're one of those people that believe in the magic bullet theory from Oliver Stone. It's a magic bullet. Or the Seinfeld episode, that's one magic loogie. Keith Hernandez from a grassy knoll. There was a second spitter. But you listen to a lot of ballistics experts, people who understand this stuff and can kind of break down the finer points in detail like this guest is doing. If it goes in and hits something and goes down, it explodes, it peels back. I mean, it's it's not like taking a pen and the bullet goes in and the bullet goes out. Look, it's a straight line. Look, he was firing down. He was firing up. He was firing from the left, firing from the right. Back into the left. Back into the right. Back into the right. Back into the right. Back into the right. It hits and it disintegrates. It peels back. It mushrooms. Peels like a banana. It splits. It splinters. It bounces around. And if it goes in and hits the neck and hits the spine, who knows which direction it could go. And yeah, it's fair to point out, why in the world would they rip up the ground outside of that event? Why would they took the SD cards? What was going on? Were there hand signals? It looked like it was a lapel pin, or the lapel mic. I know these are all questions we should robustly ask. But if we're getting ballistic information that's explaining, no, this could happen, it's a massive round, but this type of ammunition is designed to take down game this way. This is how it performs. Back into the fourth. Back into the fourth. Anyway, I'm trying to listen to the best explanations from the people pro and con. I haven't made my mind up. I don't know. I'm hearing enough people that know what they're talking about to say, yeah, this could happen. Oh, it's enough to take the back end off of it's enough to take the bumper off of a Buick. Oh, it would explode a rhinoceros's skull. I don't know, whatever it is. Maybe so, maybe not. But I don't think I've seen anything that would say, no, there's absolutely no way this type of ammunition that's designed to disintegrate and split and bounce around like that could not have done what they're accusing Tyler Robinson of doing. I don't see that that's been disproven at this stage. And if you disagree, tell me why you disagree on that point. I'm not saying it's proven beyond all shadow of a doubt per se, but just to mock that a bullet couldn't do this, and in the graphic you're using the shell casing, like making it seem like a much bigger object that couldn't possibly do what it was anyway. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's the right play at this stage.
It's impossible to predict what a bullet is going to do when it impacts any type of a medium. And for all the videos out there showing, guys are shooting ballistics gel and it's going through one block of ballistics gel into the next block of ballistic gel. Ballistic gel is not human tissue. It's not blood. It's not muscle. It's not bone. Okay, those are the most accurate testing I ever saw that was done, at least in my view, was from a guy by the name of Paul Harrell, has a YouTube channel, and he used to do what he called the meat target, which was oranges with clothing in front, oranges to simulate lungs.
Once again, this is Charlie Kalani, their firearms expert here, and Bob France on Strictly Speaking. Go follow his show. But You know, I've watched versions of this conversation many different places, and it's important that we listen to this side of it, because the prosecution isn't giving you their full case. They're sort of giving you the cliff notes. They're not really getting into, they're kind of giving you the basics. Is there enough here to go to trial? They don't have to show their whole hand. They don't have to fully explain everything at this stage, nor should you expect them to. Even if Candace Owens is not satisfied by what she's seen, or Ben Swan or Blake Wally, or somebody that would then make an affirmative determination that this is absolutely impossible. Mark says that Paul Harrell is a legend. Mark, you say there's no way that this could happen. Can you tell me, just in a separate post, what? Well, he's going to explain what the fruit and flesh tests, the diagnostics. Let's take a listen here. I'm not familiar with Harrell.
Pork chops to simulate muscle and bone, and 2 or 3 other things, and then he would wrap it in clothing too, because that becomes a factor.
Right.
And it's amazing the different results you would get shooting that than just shooting a clear block of gelatin that's designed so you can see what a wound channel looks like and stuff like that. The other
hang on a second. Tell me about the other kind of cartridge that a 30-06 fires, because the soft point ones are the ones you're talking about right now that are designed to mushroom and kind of fragment out on impact, which is what we'll talk about in a second here. But there are different types of cartridges you can fire with 30-06.
There's different types of bullets for every
firearm. For everyone, of course. But what they don't want people to know about the soft bullet. They don't want people to know about the soft bullet.
Well, they make what's called
all the same.
So another common one would be just a full metal jacket, which would have the copper completely covering the tip, which would be more prone to going straight through something.
Having a big exit wound.
Because, any time a bullet goes through something, the exit wound is.
Yeah, that part right there. If you're looking for a straight line in and out, it would probably be a different type of ammunition used. There's different boxes that have different markings at different prices that are designed to do different things. If it was full metal jacket, if it was a solid metal point, yeah, that's more likely to go straight through. But even then, they obviously fragment and bounce around.
Is almost always larger than the entrance wound, because of there's the bullet cavitation that goes through there. Think about when you're on a boat and you look behind you and you have that massive wave behind you. The water going in doesn't look like, into the propeller doesn't look like that, but the water coming out looks like that.
How to drain lymph fluid like a true American.
This simple trick is transforming lives. It sounds crazy.
I gotta stop this.
But I couldn't skip another ad, so
just trying to get to the end of this presentation because
of all the distortion and the cavitation. The same thing applies there. So anytime a bullet comes out the other side, it's going to expand outward, and you're going to have a larger exit wound. But anybody that had the unfortunate experience of having to see that video, the first thing you saw was the big splash.
Yes. And
so you can assume that that's one of the first things the bullet hit was a large quantity of blood, right? And if you've ever seen, Mythbusters did a great video on this a while back, where they were shooting bullets into a pool of water. And matter of fact, I just saw a video popped up in my feed the other day. I don't remember when it was done, but a guy has a YouTube channel called Kentucky Ballistics, had one where he had a ballistics dummy down at the bottom of this pool, maybe 5 feet of water. And he was shooting all different kinds of ammunition in it. And he got all the way up to a Barrett 50 caliber bullet is probably about that tall. And the bullet itself is about half an inch in diameter. It's, for context, if this bullet was 150 grains, then that bullet, the light one is 660 grains.
Wow.
Okay. And even that couldn't make it through because of how much energy gets lost when it impacts water like that. So when you factor blood, muscle tissue, which Charlie Kirk was no slouch. He was extremely fit. And I'm sure his neck muscles were plenty toned.
Charlie's big.
Yeah, he says right here that Charlie's a big guy. He was you see when I'm walking next, not that I'm the tallest human, but he was a larger human. He was tall. He was a large human, not an average size. He was extra large. Not fat or anything, just he was a big guy.
Big guy. A lot of people don't realize that. When I met Charlie, I was shocked that I was looking up at him. He was 6'4". I was 6'3". I've shrunken in my age.
Yeah, I think he's one of the few people that rivals President Trump.
Yeah, he's taller than President Trump. He's 6'4". I think President Trump is 6'3". So, but you're right. He's not only is he tall, he's not tall and lanky. He was a very fit guy. So he had probably, I'm not going to pretend to know how.
And yeah, he was a basketball player too. I've seen those videos.
How much he worked out, but I mean, he did not look like he was going to be made of Jell-O, if you understand my meaning.
Right, absolutely not. Especially a denser than usual area on the body. And when you shoot a deer, okay, which is what these are, intended for. When you shoot a deer or a boar or whatever you're trying to take, the idea is to shoot through the side so that you go through both lungs and ideally the heart. Okay, lung tissue is not the same as muscles. It's a thinner area. It's the most vulnerable area of the body that you can shoot through, short of the head. I mean, but then you got a skull to contend with. So the comparison of trying to compare, a deer to a human being is also, the bullet went through the deer. Well, maybe it did, maybe it didn't, but it's not the same thing. It's not. And I think.
And by the way, Blake was making the point on the TNAM PM show the other day. It's like, well, a deer has rough leather skin. So the impact, slowing it down to prevent it from going out the other side, is more likely to happen on a deer. Well, maybe. And Cam Higbee made a post with a bunch of hunters using this same ammunition, this same type of, and there's, like I said, full metal jacket round being different from this one. That's a lead tipped round designed to peel back and expand and go different places to bounce around and cause as much internal damage as possible. Yeah, all of these points matter. When I first watched the video, it looked like something ricocheted off the chest and up into the neck. That was my initial. I thought I saw the shirt do this. I thought it may have hit the chest and bounced up. I thought maybe that initial hit with body armor would have protected, and then you just got to deal with the shrapnel if you can. Of course, in Charlie's case, they could not. And with that lapel pin there, I keep calling it that, the lapel mic sort of aiming right up to it. It's like, well, yeah. Oh, well, nobody would shoot that blind. You're telling me someone that's going to create a device that specific to take somebody out wouldn't have some sort of remote camera with a crosshair that you could move it around and put it exactly where you want it to go? Maybe. Or the gunman, experienced as he was, I think he talks about this here, aiming in one spot, but missing from up here and ending up down there. I don't know. I'm open to the whole conversation. I haven't gotten too in depth on any of this speculation too quick, because what's the point? I don't know. But now there is a point. Now we know what the prosecution case is sort of laying out, and we're hearing some people dispute it, and some people say, yeah, that could absolutely happen. I mean, we're going to have to understand this topic if we want to speak intelligently on it. That's why I haven't taken a hardline stance on it. I'm sort of listening to both sides at this stage.
After COVID, I think a lot of people, being a valid conspiracy, I think a lot of people are addicted to conspiracies now, and they have to.
Oh, 1,000% they are. That's one of the things I did this in the commentary last week. Everybody loves a good conspiracy story, and whether it's JFK or whether it's the moon landing or what it is.
Lindsey Graham now.
Yeah, where there's another
That's
one.
The latest one, yeah.
And so people do.
Or Mitch McConnell.
People are addicted. That's why Candace Owens is doing what she's doing. She's gotten rich for the last 10 months because everybody loves the conspiracy. All she has to do is not cite any facts, but say, how come this hasn't been released or whatever? And it's, oh, well, hell, I got a puzzle on that. Let me see what she says next time around. People love a good conspiracy. And I want this particular conspiracy to end. I want it to be put to bed. And Charlie, don't you think this is funny? And I brought you on to talk about your weapons and your ammunition expertise, not your legal expertise, but what the hell, you're a smart guy. Wouldn't you think that if the goal of the defense is to not get this thing sent to trial, that's what the evidentiary hearing is for, is deciding whether or not this is going to trial. If the goal is to stop it from going to trial, wouldn't you think they would use some of the best, pardon the pun here, ammunition, but metaphorical ammunition that they have to prove that Tyler Robinson shouldn't even be brought to trial on this? Because Tyler Robinson is being accused of firing a 30-06 and it didn't even leave an exit wound. Did you notice the only people using the exit wound must be there for this to be true are the conspiracy people online, not the lawyers defending Tyler Robinson? They never brought it up, not once.
Clearly, Bob, the lawyers are also in on the conspiracy as well.
I mean, right?
Well, yeah, you start reaching how many degrees of likelihood that a conspiracy can survive. And you say, well, if Tyler's a patsy, because I asked Blake, well, who do you think did it? And he's like, well, and other people, well, no, maybe Tyler did shoot, but it was a blank. Or maybe Tyler did shoot, but he missed. Or maybe he's just the patsy. Well, what does that mean, he's just the patsy? Well, they're going to pin it on him, but he didn't do it. Or he did it, but he was working with a whole bunch of others. Okay, fine. But set that aside for a second. Don't you normally then take out the patsy? Was that Thomas Crooks the actual one that took the shot at Trump? Or was he a patsy? He was taken out nearly immediately on that roof. They could have never suspected somebody would get on the roof right in front of the president, former president, running for president. But they were sure able to take him out once he got his shots off, multiple. Were there other people working there? Did he really pull the trigger? That Butler case, I don't feel like we've seen enough information on it. Who else was involved? What else do we know? It's just sort of been swept from the storylines. And that one appears to be at least the Secret Service intentionally leaving that area vulnerable.
I mean, it would have to be. That's how stupid.
But we have every right to dispute and question every single official narrative that any government ever gives us, because we've been lied to so consistently, so continuously over the decades. However, just because the government likes to lie doesn't mean that every single thing they say is a lie. Now, maybe if we're talking about the Democrat Party, I think the batting average is much higher. Whatever they're telling you, think the opposite, and you're going to be maybe north of 90%. They're almost always up to something, almost always misrepresenting stories, whether it's ICE or COVID or 2020 or the Summer of Love riots and their domestic terrorism, or the socialists that are claiming segments of their party. But just because the government has a story on something doesn't automatically make it incorrect. I want to try to separate that independently. However, starting from a place of mistrust, general skepticism, that's fine. But if we're getting information that's like, no, this could have actually happened, we don't need to plant our flag on this. Go, I knew it. Okay, well, it doesn't seem like I'm able to plant my flag on this one just yet.
I think I heard Candace Owens said that she would be more than willing to hand over all the evidence that she has
to help the
defense team.
Yes,
holy crap!
Yeah, I will give you everything you need to try to get him off of this.
Oh, gosh, I've heard so many. The microphone explosion theory is just the latest one. I've heard that I heard another one.
I mean, I watched the ripple on the shirt. My eyes are telling me something happened there. If it was a bullet that bounced up off of that, if it was a device that, and yeah, the neck's attached in a strong jerking motion will move floating fabric. I get that, but just my eye tells me that something happened with the chest in this general area with this shirt. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but my eye is telling me that something's there.
That there was one of the bodyguards in the crowd, or somebody in the crowd that was right on the line there, just to the left of Charlie. Had a pistol in his hand, shooting it from like chest height, by the way, not even aiming in any manner. And all the 100 people that were around him, they just.
Oh, by the way, hold on. If you say that these guys sound manic, it's because I'm playing it at 1.5 speed.
Stood there while the gun went off, and had no reaction whatsoever.
No, yeah. Oh yeah, I mean it is so many different things that they have come up with.
And right away,
they think this exit wound thing is going to be, again, pardon the pun. It's amazing how many euphemisms that we have.
I'm playing it at 1.5 speed just so that we can plow through it. I couldn't remember exactly which segment I wanted to go with, so I just said, yeah, let's just play it until I feel like we've reached the conclusion of the conversation. But I want more people hearing this side. Because I don't know that. I think there are some people who have gravitated toward the black pill, and there's a black pill network. I don't know who's in it exactly, but it's sort of like the Candace Owens, the Tucker Carlson, the Marjorie Taylor Greene, the Thomas Massey. I have friends like this. Blake has been massively black pilled. Sean Ryan, like there's a whole podcasting ecosystem of just negativity and anti-Trump and anti-MAGA, and very little energy put into the successes and the wins and the strategy choices and the good things happening. It's really just a hyper fixation on the negative, and that's the black pill. Take the red pill, wake up and see what's going on. Take the blue pill, go back to sleep, and take the black pill. Everything's fucked. Everybody sucks. It's like you turn into Limp Bizkit from the song Break Stuff. But yeah, that's why it's sounding a little manic, because I have it at time and a half speed.
In our vernacular about firearms, but I was about to
Right.
say the smoking gun
Right.
in this thing they're saying is the exit wound, and
Locked
that's
and
the
loaded.
reason. What's that like? There's another one too. Charlie, I've only got a couple minutes left here before we have another guest. But I want to bring the picture up. Chris pointed out, Chris Lesh, in this. I think this is the best explanation. There have been great videos. Look it up on YouTube or Rumble. There are a lot of, do your searches for firearms experts who can debunk the exit wound on Charlie Kirk's neck, or the lack of an exit wound being the deciding factor here. There are a lot of really good videos from some experts, but this is the best, I think, in print that I've seen so far. He does.
And by the way, Patriot Warrior Texas over on Rumble saying deer skin and deer hide ain't that tough. Okay. Did Charlie have a vest on? Patriot Warrior asks. I've shot lots of deer, and you can knock a deer off their feet with a 30-06 or a similar round. Yeah, like clean off their feet. Jamie, let's look this up. If Charlie Kirk was wearing a bulletproof vest, I thought I heard that he was, but I want to double check what AI on Grok. No, he was not wearing a bulletproof vest when he was assassinated September 10, 25. His widow says multiple times in interviews she urged him to wear one the night before the event, along with a suggestion for bulletproof glass, but he declined, saying he trusted his security and felt it wasn't necessary yet. 150 yards away, bolt-action rifle. Erica spoke about his refusal to wear protection in reports, including from those who handled his body, a line with no vest being present. Yeah, it says online speculation and some commenters. Megyn Kelly initially suggested a vest in Ricochet based on video angles or shirt movement. It's been widely debunked as misinformation. How do you know it's misinformation at this stage? We're all just gathering evidence. Adam Carolla talks about this all the time during the pandemic, and Fauci and CNN and all these Democrats and all these liars, but I repeat myself in triplicate. No, this couldn't have come from the Wuhan Coronavirus Research Laboratory. There's no way. No, this could not have originated in China. You couldn't know that. And the fact that you're selling us so hard on something that's unknowable at this stage makes me think that you're intentionally lying to me. And yes, in that case, of course, it was a lie, as we all claimed. But like I said, just because the Democrats say something doesn't mean it automatically makes it incorrect. Broken clocks are right twice a day. So yeah, I mean, I saw what I saw moving on the shirt at the time of that shot as well. It's not just Megyn Kelly. I saw what I saw. I don't know if it can be explained a different way, but I wouldn't say that's been debunked completely. No way.
Chris, in the article for the Daily Wire, show this photograph. He said it's a photo of recovered. Let me share it because I want you to speak to it. It's a photo of the recovered bullet jacket fragments. Official ATF evidence as referenced in case reporting. It shows labeled evidence pieces with close-up views of the fragmented, deformed bullet jackets. Classic terminal performance of an expanding soft point projectile that dumped its energy internally with no exit wound. Can you, and I know you're not a forensic scientist, Charlie, but again, just knowing what you know about the ammunition, can you speak to that and what Chris just wrote?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you would expect to see with a bullet of this design.
Now, how soon does it start pulling to pieces? Only on impact, or as soon as it's fired, it starts mushrooming? Obviously, that probably wouldn't be the point, but some of that could occur prior to hitting. And not all rounds are created equal. You have misfires, you have jams, you have all sorts of problems. Not all ammo fires exactly correctly.
You know, it's not uniform because there's no, when you have a hollow point, a jacketed hollow point like that, you know, that has serrations on it, and when those impact, they actually look like a flower with the way they peel back. This is just a solid, you know, it's not solid, but a layer wrapped around, and you can actually see the bottom of the bullet, that round circle that's kind of in the center there.
Yep.
That you can, that's the bottom. That's the bottom that you would that you can't see when it's in the cartridge.
So,
Danette says, "I'm so black-pilled." I know you are. So is Blake. Mark, maybe you're black-pilled. Danette says, Massey is wonderful, true patriot. I was a big Thomas Massey fan. He follows the New American Media on X. I like a lot of what he said. Same with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Same with Nancy Mace. Also, he was voting against President Trump in a lot of things, siding with Ro Khanna in the Democrats instead of President Trump and the Republicans. Not to say you need to follow your party blindly, but when you're teaming up with Ro Khanna and the dirty Democrats, I don't know. That's flashing red flags for me. Something's off. Maybe they're just so they have such conviction they couldn't go along with the unconstitutional, illegal, overreaching, overspending Trump administration that's hardly distinguishable from Obama, according to one of my libertarian friends who I'm also debating offline. Maybe there's some truth to both of that. End of the day, he wasn't helping. He got primaried. He got booted. Ro Khanna is an absolute clown. Mark says that it was 150 yards makes it less likely. Bullets slowed down due to friction. I mean, every foot they travel, they lose some sort of velocity, though. They lose some sort of it. Absolutely you do not have to follow a party blind. 100%. Ro kinda? Yeah, kinda. No, you absolutely don't need to follow a party blind. And that's why I was saying, if you don't like the spending bill, and by the way, you need President Trump to get a budget so that he can fix decades of stuff that's been going on with the Uniparty, Republican in name only rhinos, and the deep state Democrats teaming up for decades. Yeah, I initially in this budget, I'm not going to be as outraged as I would normally be, because he needs to defend this country. He needs the budget to remove the people through Department of Homeland Security that snuck into this country uninvited, unvetted, unwelcome, unhelpful, no plans of assimilation, goals of conquering and domination. So you better be damn sure on top of the people extinguishing lives and brutalizing young girls and young boys in the most heinous of ways, destroying their communities, not helping their communities, taking instead of giving. No, these people are not welcome, and President Trump did need a bigger budget for that. If he's going to go get Maduro and find out what Venezuela was up to in the 2020 elections, yeah, you need a military that's fully funded. No, I don't like the excessive spending, but my point on that is just to say, why couldn't Thomas Massie say, guys, the same reason I've opposed every budget brought to me for the past 18 years or however long he's been in Congress, I'm against this. I don't like this. We need to pass a budget. I am one person who's going to flat out say, no, we don't have enough to override and stop this. But how about the Massie Amendment? I will put up my hand and reluctantly vote for it if you will take 10% off the top. Make a concession for me, and I'm going to hold my nose and do something that I don't want to do. But show me a little meat in the middle, a little bit of middle ground. Help me go back and say, I was against this thing. I don't like this thing. I hate it. And we do need a budget, and you do need the funds to get some of your goals accomplished across planet Earth, domestically, and to unravel so many of the problems that have been institutionally built over the years through the NGOs and nonprofits, the fake money laundering and whatnot, to essentially overthrow this country for decades. So if you apply the Massie Amendment to take 10% off of this, you'll get my vote. I didn't see any compromise there, and they just started fighting, and it was unfortunate. Mark says, one more fact, as if they say, if it hit Charlie's neck, it broke his neck, instant ragdoll. Charlie held onto his microphone. Well, in what cases do people seize up? Oh, sorry, I thought I was on the screen. I guess I'm not. In what case do people, in a car crash, the injuries happen a lot, is when they get tense and their body can't move to absorb the impact. Yeah, there's a lot of, you hear of wounds, and you'll see strokes and seizures and such where everything instantly tenses up. In which case, wouldn't you just keep holding what you're holding, just grip it tighter as everything is done, as your life is extinguished? I don't know. Not a forensic expert, but I'm trying to listen to the conversation. And I think a deep dive on this is important because I've heard Blake bring it up. He brought it up again on Toxically Masculine Tuesday yesterday. And I think the other panelists on that show, I think 3 out of the 4 were saying, no, this couldn't happen. Okay, well, we're kind of walking through the ways this could happen with this jacketed piece of ammunition with that device.
So just to be clear, though, Charlie,
Yeah.
with your experience and your expertise in this area, you're positive that what we're looking at right there, right now, those are not pieces of an exploding microphone.
No, and just so we're clear, this picture is of the same fragment twice.
Yeah, it's turned.
I just want to make sure people see it. Like, that's not 2 separate fragments. That's they took one fragment and took a picture of it, or they took one picture from one side and one picture from another side and put them next to each other. So it's just so people don't think that that's like that 2 halves of the same piece.
No.
That's the one twice.
But what's really important here too is, again, that the coroner or the medical examiner who made the determination of the cause of death being a bullet, not an exploding microphone, and so on and so forth, he examined that as well. And when they removed those, they knew exactly what they are. That's why those were part of the evidence, and it's probably why, again, Tyler Robinson's lawyers aren't making the, hey, there should have been an exit wound if our guy Tyler shot him with a 30-06 round, from 130 yards away. They're not even making this argument because they know full well, or they have hired people, I'm sure, who can say, that's not an argument here, because those soft tip lead pointed rounds,
Lead tipped,
are intended to spread, if you will, upon impact,
Expand.
spread its kinetic energy inside and to stay actually inside the target.
Right, and if some if a dumb dago from the west side of Cleveland with a 12th grade education can figure this out, I'm pretty sure lawyers with college degrees and everything else that are out there, have the ability to. One of the what's.
By the way, Patriot Warrior says if he had a vest on, it would seem like the mic round could bounce off and enter the neck like it looked like. Yeah. That was my very first batch of questions. Was he wearing body armor? Did it bounce off in a ricochet?
It's really sad, but these conspiracies started immediately. The first one being with the how he got the gun up onto the roof, and I actually went and made a video. I went and got my 30-06 rifle and made a video with it down my pant leg of me walking around the house, walking up a flight of stairs, right? And I still the only thing I did was I took the scope off, right? Because I don't know what I'm not familiar with the firearm that guy used, but I know that they said there was a screwdriver or whatever. So for me, the only thing that I did was I used the screwdriver to take the scope off so that it was, fit a little easier. And then I put the scope in my other pocket. I knew what the heck. Yeah. And I still had people, telling me that I was doing things differently. But the other one is that, why they said it had to be a professional hit, right? The airplane left immediately after the shooting took place or whatever. And because of Charlie being hit in the neck and not in the head or the chest, the reason even, I just wanted to get this out there, if I'm sure it's been said already, but the reason for that is because Tyler Robinson was here,
elevated,
and Charlie Kirk was down here.
Yep.
Okay, he was shooting downhill. Gravity, the second the bullet leaves the barrel, gravity starts to affect it. That's why if you look at the bullet trajectory of, when you go to the shooting range, or a great video, go watch a slow motion video of an arrow being launched from a bow. It's always up. It's always at an upward angle, and that you're making an arc. So Tyler Robinson was just such an inexperienced shooter that he didn't aim a little bit higher, because I guarantee you he was aiming at Charlie's forehead or his nose. I guarantee it. And that's why it just happened to sink faster than it normally would.
I have no doubt that would have been where he was aiming as well, in part because we know Charlie, of course, had 24/7 security. There's so many people who wanted to take him out for.
And a bulletproof vest on.
But that's my point, because he.
Okay, and right there, bulletproof vest. Was a bulletproof vest on, or was a bulletproof vest off? Anyway, I'll sort of wrap that there. I'm trying to go deeper into that conversation because it's a big sticking point. JFK, Lee Harvey Oswald. Who pulled the trigger that killed the president? Was it multiple people? Danette says, my brother-in-law is a funeral director and he handles and picks up deceased people all the time. Actually points things out to police and sheriff. Ask him. Absolutely. But I've just heard a lot of people saying, nope, there's no case because that couldn't have happened. I go, I haven't seen evidence that it's completely impossible that could have happened. Is it probable? Is it likely? I don't know. But can I just rule it out based on what we have so far? I can't do that. No. It seems theoretically possible. Like I said, if not probable, or a slam dunk. Anyway, I just thought that that in-depth conversation was pretty useful, pretty educational. So if you want to go check out Bob's channel, subscribe, Strictly Speaking Unfiltered on Rumble. All right, let's get back to our Instagram feed here. But yeah, that is the deep dive that I've sort of wanted to do for a while. And it just, everything lined up today to kind of break it down because everyone's talking about it.
Welcome.
All right. Let's check this out. Scott Pressler says, oh my gosh, the House just votes 215 to 211 in favor of a special rule.
On this vote, the yeas.
Special rules resolution that instructs for the text of the Save America Act to be attached to the National Defense Authorization Act. The House is doing its job. Speaker Mike Johnson is keeping his promise.
Sir, 200.
I would prefer this has nothing to do with the National Defense Authorization Act, as I've had problems with that in the past.
15. The nays are 211. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table. On this.
Okay. So the House does what the House does. Let's see what the Senate doesn't do. Statue set to be revealed on 9/10 in Times Square, New York. Italian artist Sergio Fernazzi, according to Jay Costa. First look. Says he created this handmade statue to spread and emphasize the freedom of speech. To spread and emphasize the freedom of speech and self-expression. He says, unfortunately, it won't take very long for radical Marxist thugs to try to take down this great statue, though it deserves to be protected. Just talking. Whew. All right. Hey, Sacramento. They don't know where $24 billion went for a high-speed rail line that goes nowhere. Once again, the high-speed rail line, having lived in Los Angeles for a while, what was it? Where is it supposed to be? From Los Angeles to Merced? Where was the high-speed rail line supposed to start and stop, if ever built fully? I think it's LA to Merced. San Francisco to Anaheim. Definitely going through Gilroy and Merced, Bakersfield, Palmdale, Burbank. The light rail line or the high-speed train that they needed was Los Angeles to Las Vegas. That drive is a nightmare sometimes. Those two cities should absolutely have a high-speed line. Just take it over the 10 and up the 15. Have it run parallel. That would have been an interesting project worth doing. Man, I would have taken that train a bunch of times. But do I need to go from Los Angeles to Merced? Not so much. The ring came off my pudding can. Take my penknife, my good man. I swear it's Springfield's only choice. Throw up your hands. Let's all rejoice. Monorail. What's it called? Monorail. Say it again. Monorail. Dun, 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 dun. Mono. Dope. But Main Street's still all cracked and broken. Sorry, Mom. The mob has spoken. Monorail. Yes, great episode. All right, well, the same California that can't seem to account for $24 billion squandered on a bullet train to nowhere, they're going to start digging through your rubbish.
Before you roll out your bins, just know your garbage, mixed recycling, and organic waste containers could be inspected.
Yeah, we won't be touching any of the contents, just giving a visual.
The city of Sacramento will have crews check.
Why aren't you wearing gloves?
Containers across the city to track if residents are sorting properly.
We conducted the same reviews last June, and we found high contamination levels of, issues like plastic bags in the recycling, garbage in the organics.
Jessa David says it's to be in compliance with SB 1383. a state law that requires local jurisdictions to make efforts to reduce methane emissions, specifically caused by organic waste ending up in landfills. But residents won't face any fines, just feedback.
Any container that
no fines, just feedback.
we touch will either give a great job tag or a let's sort this out tag. But either way, we want to provide education and make sure everyone knows the resources that they have available to sort their waste correctly.
And if you think it's a waste of time, not sorting properly not only hurts the environment, but could even waste your tax dollars.
When you sort your waste incorrectly, it does cost us more to dispose of it.
Now,
every sorting facility sorts their stuff. Sort the stuff. Did she say they have a problem with plastic bags going into the recycling? That's a plastic bag. Figure it out at the recycling facility where the plastic bags go. Yeah, I think I saw somebody say, no, don't put plastic bag. I go, I'm not just dumping a full canister of empty cat food tins into a recycling bin. They're going to be inside of a plastic bag. I don't want that stuff blowing around in the wind and scattering to every corner of the yard. A raccoon getting up there and knocking it all around, hurting itself, rummaging, trying to find some food source, putting it in a plastic bag. I think she just said plastic bags.
now there's a lot of
Like as if there's a problem having plastic bags in recycling.
households here in the capital city. The city says it has over 135,000 customers. Of that, 4,800 will be a part of this inspection. It'll last from now until September. In Sacramento, Cecil Hannibal, KCRA 3 News.
Hannibal. That's a good last name. Yeah, Rob says ultimately, though, all of what people are recycling ends up going into the landfills anyway. Mark says high-speed trash examination. Yeah. I just want to see if she complains about plastic bags in the recycling. Did I hear that right?
Before you roll out your bins, just
yes, do not feed the trash pandas.
know your garbage, mixed recycling.
Ortho? No, not ortho. Sorry. Do not feed the ducks. Do not feed the ducks, unholy hoax. Yeah, don't feed the trash pandas. Darn those dirty trash pandas. Damn you Dems, damn you trash pandas.
And organic waste containers could be inspected.
I love that shot. Yeah, that was good producing. That's the shot you need. Put the camera in and then we'll show you lifting it from underneath. That is the shot that you need. Very Oliver Stoney.
Yeah, we won't be touching any of the contents, just giving a visual.
The city of Sacramento will have crews checking containers across the city.
I want to hear about the plastic bags.
To track if residents are sorting properly.
We conducted the same reviews last June, and we found high contamination levels of, issues like plastic bags in the recycling.
Okay, dork, plastic bags go in the recycling. And if you're claiming that they don't, you need to figure it out because it's a plastic bag and everybody knows that you recycle plastic bags. Stop it. If you're doing the recycling, you grab every plastic bag, even if you have to rip it, dump the contents, and set the plastic bag over on the side, you put them on the side. It's part of the cycling process. God, places won't even pick up a couch or a chair unless you wrap it in a plastic bag. Good grief. If that's the thing that's got you so annoyed, you need to rethink your priorities. Because I'm not doing it. I'm not separating trash. I will throw my trash in with my recycled cans if you want me to dump it in there with just willy-nilly. Grab a jar full of M&Ms and just dump them in. Yeah, they couldn't possibly get knocked around and end up a big friggin' mess. No, I'm going to put them in a bag. I'm going to twist it. I'm going to cinch it, tie it off. Anyway, yes, that was the money shot tonight. It was. I would have, God, I filmed a segment at the Conscious Life Expo getting a massage in the hotel main floor, lower level floor with, convention rooms and whatnot and open areas for vendors. They had massage tables lined up. And so you put your face down, like, oh, I got to get that shot from underneath. I don't know if I ever even posted that video. I actually have a lot of unposted footage over the years. I'm good at creating content and gathering content. Uploading it, that's a slightly different story. Perhaps. Oh, wait, why do you feel very boomer today? Because you're referencing The Simpsons from 1994? Anyway, this lady having a problem with plastic bags in the recycling. I need to leave that comment. Did she just complain about plastic bags being in with recyclables? That's where plastic bags go. In with the recyclables. And if the processing center wants to separate them, then they take the bags and send them into a bin off to the side. Is this lady off her rocker? And I'll get some recycling experts saying why you shouldn't use plastic bags. And I don't care. Of course, you put your cans and Fancy Feast tins and plastic, whatever you have, it all goes into that recycling bin. Then you sort it out. My God. Oh, this is nice. The All-Star game was yesterday. Cleveland Indians starting pitcher Parker Messick pitched a shutout inning. Cade Smith struck out Bryce Harper from the hometown Philadelphia Phillies on camera, on microphone. He goes, I'm sorry, guys. That was nasty. Struck out on a really big curveball from Cade Smith. Travis Bazzana made it. Was there another all-star for the Indians? I don't remember. But anyway, thinking about baseball this time of year, and I saw this, I figured I'd share it. His granddad left an old bucket of balls at the batting cages they used to visit with this note on them. Free. Hope someone can use some of those baseballs in the batting cages. I found them cleaning out my garage. I pitched them to my son and grandson for countless rounds. My son is now 46. And my grandson is 23. I am 72, and what I won't give to pitch a couple of buckets to them. They have both moved away. If you are a father, cherish these times. You won't believe how quickly they will be gone. God bless. P.S. Give them a hug and tell them you love them every chance you get. Yeah, baseball is bigger than baseball. And that's just so sweet. I think I played you this clip before. Florida man being praised nationwide for personally following a child predator on the highway. You do?
591, where's the location of your emergency?
Yes, ma'am. There's a child pedophile with 2 kids in his truck. One's a runaway.
Where are you at, sir?
He's coming down US 1. His name's Darnell.
A caller who knew Harrison and knew he is a registered sex offender just happened to see him on the road. He dialed 911 after spotting him with what looked like 2 underage boys in the car.
Do you know this person?
He's our neighborhood child pedophile, and there's 2 missing kids that run away from out there, and he's got 2 teenage boys in the back of his truck.
The caller followed the truck down US 1.
You don't have to continue following.
Oh, no, I'm following until I see a cop pull his over because he's got 2 kids in his car. Because if a cop don't pull him over, I'm going to pull him over, and it ain't going to be pretty.
Deputies ultimately found the truck, and after a bit of a struggle, had Harrison in handcuffs.
Who got my truck? Who got my truck?
All right, I appreciate it. Law enforcement stopped the vehicle.
Yeah, they got him. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
The world needs strong men. Bravo.
You don't find.
How many in the group that are black-pilled feel like this comment or this content, this segment? Raise your hand if this is you. Point of view, you live with a conspiracy theorist. Or everybody around you gets to hear your ramblings.
You don't find that suspicious. You don't find that suspicious. You don't find that suspicious. You don't.
Constantly shoving phones in people's faces. You don't find that suspicious? What's up, Cletus? Happy to have you. Yeah, that dude is a hero. McCobston, absolutely. Rob says some people have no hobbies or creative talent. They desire power and control to feel superior. Yeah, the micromanagers of the world. But how many people feel like this girl?
You don't find that suspicious.
Or this guy who lives with someone like this?
You don't find that suspicious. You don't find that suspicious. You don't find that suspicious.
Here's a post. It says, well, I met Slash one time. I have several stories serving alcohol to people in Los Angeles. Geez, who are some of the more interesting? Well, I don't know. Let's see. Pierce Morgan, Henry Waxman, that congressman that brought the speed reader into Congress as they were ramming Obamacare through. He was mocking people who said, we need to read the bill. Pelosi says, no, I can't wait to pass it to find out what's in it. You go, no. And yeah, Slash, I believe I served him white wine. He looked great for his age, by the way. Anyway, great song, but this post says, how convenient that a dangerous parasite is making headlines. And suddenly we're told to avoid berries, fresh vegetables, salads, medium rare steak, and eggs. Healthy food is always the first target.
We need.
Homeland Security put this out. By the way, what changed? Let's play a few clips of Democrats back before they went completely crazy talking about immigration.
Strong border security.
Oh, you need strong border security.
At the borders.
At the borders. Where the fuck else would they be? Look, Joe Biden sent Kamala Harris to the border. And, she did not see, what the MAGA extremists are claiming. Yeah. Barry Soetoro, Barack Hussein. Kamala didn't go to El Paso. Like, she didn't go to like the major Eagles. What was it? Eagle Point, Eagle's Nest, Eagle Pass, right? No, they sent Kamala all the way to what? Northwest Texas, an area that wasn't the hot spot. It's like talking about the 10 freeway or the 40 going across the American Southwest. It's like, we need strong border security at the border. Where the fuck else would it? What do you talk? Why are you being so redundant there? Maybe he was off script there, off teleprompter. Look at that weird face he's making too. It'd be like saying, "Oh, the 40, there's no traffic," or "The ride's not bumpy at all," and you go, "How do you know?" Well, I was on. Look, get your kicks. Look, Larry Sinclair. He made a lot of claims about, yours truly, being a fan of getting his kicks with a whole lot of, well, anyway, look, Larry Sinclair has been widely discredited as misinformation and disinformation. And it would take a special type of degenerate like Tucker Carlson, to put him out there, kind of in that way. But look, I can report there are no bumpy roads out there on the 40. Traveling across California, Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma. We all know Oklahoma. It's where a lot of backward people, they hold on to their God and their guns. And look, if you vote for, we can't say we're democratic socialists yet, but in 5 days, we will fundamentally transform the United States of America. And scene. Barack Back Mountain. Now, Kenneth, that might be a little too soon. Oh, look at this. Cletus coming in off the top rope with an elbow. Super sticker, $5 US. I don't even know what a super sticker is, but I'll take it. Thank you. He threw a silver dime into our tip jar back there. Thank you, Cletus. Appreciate you, brother. Much obliged. Oklahoma's creepy as hell at night, certain parts. So is Texas. The vast expanse of like 13 hours driving across it and just seeing the same scene you saw before, like you're on a treadmill. Occasionally the manure smell gets a little stronger. Occasionally the refined gasoline and oil derricks or whatever you want to call them, all the gas and natural gas and oil. Up from the ground came a bubbling crude oil, that is. Arizona's creepy, especially in Flagstaff. I've had weird experiences in Flagstaff. I had a weird experience off the freeway at a rest stop in Colorado, up near Vail on a mountain. And when I pulled off to the rest stop to piss, I was driving through the middle of the night. I think I've told that story before, but the quick version is got to the rest stop and just felt eerie, and then walked inside and there were display cases full of ancient Indian artifacts from like the Ute Indians and such that they discovered when creating these roads and making this rest stop. I said, oh, cool. So I'm literally standing on ancient Indian burial grounds. What could go wrong? And I walked outside, and at the time I had a habit that I don't have now. And all the hair stood up on the back of my neck. I was in the parking lot, and there was a light behind me, and I saw all the shadows of the cars and myself and the smoke. And I saw something go behind me in a shadow. I felt it, then I saw a shadow, and I went, I'm getting the fuck out of here. So yeah, it's the American Southwest can be creepy. You got Roswell, Area 51. Taos is a very energetic place. The vortexes, all of that jazz. Oh, Mark heard that the Utes practiced human sacrifice. A lot of the tribes did. And they weren't indigenous. They were travelers. They came across the Bering Land Strait from Asia. Never get into a land war in Asia. Inconceivable. Anyway, the compilation clip of back when Democrats used to at least pretend and give you their claptrap about wanting a secure border. Just like you would want to know who's coming into your house and why. Just like if you're out in the dating world, you don't want to open your legs for anybody and just come on in, whoever you are. Take whatever you need. Gross.
Illegal immigration is wrong.
Oh, that's Chuck Schumer saying illegal immigration is wrong. This was sort of before they made the pivot to realize that perhaps the only way they can retain any power is by importing tens of millions of illegal alien invaders that they could create paper ballots from. Just get them to sign up for some stuff, automatically give out some driver's licenses or state-issued identification cards, or get you on some public housing assistance, or get you on Medicaid, or get you enrolled in this and that. And once you're created in the system, we can generate a ballot. And you know what? We'll give ballots to everybody in our state, regardless if those ballot rolls have been cleaned in 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years, 5 decades. They're still floating around the rolls. Doge was finding people that were hundreds of years old collecting, at least eligible in the Social Security system. Any normal, sane person would sweep up all of those potential avenues for fraud, except Obama, the Democrats, Schumer, and the rest.
Plain and simple.
Plain and simple. Illegal immigration is wrong. So what changed?
People who enter the United States without our permission are illegal aliens, and illegal aliens should not be treated the same as people who entered the U.S. legally.
Wow. Such an extremist they are. So far, we've seen two Democrat extremists, right? That just want to have a bouncer at the gate of the nightclub, at the door of the nightclub, to make sure no weapons. You're not on the list. Nope, sorry, you can't enter. You have a permanent ban. You came in here before and you caused problems. You're not allowed back. We're allowed to refuse service. Get out. There's nothing extreme about these positions. But Tom Homan now has allegedly enacted a policy where they're not going to be using traffic stops in ICE. Except they are. They're just pausing to review their training and their protocols to make sure they're standing in the right spots, they're using the right tools, and they're minimizing any opportunity to need to discharge their weapons if it's unnecessary. However, if you get people that are using their vehicles to ram ICE agents, they're sort of getting what they're asking for. But what did Hillary say about illegal aliens?
They've committed a crime, deport them. No.
Well, coming inside without a ticket gets you thrown out of the movie theater. You're deported from the movie theater. Oh, you're on the train. You jump the turnstiles. You don't have a ticket. Okay. I'm not advocating we break their legs or explode their heads. You're escorted out. And by the way, this goes a lot easier if you don't stand up and start fighting the guy that's doing the ticket taking.
Questions asked, they're gone.
Our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more.
Wow. Trying to secure the borders, allegedly, from Clinton in the 90s.
By deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before.
Wow. Bill Clinton would have no role in the Democrat Party today. By the way, sexual degeneracy stuff aside, Billy C. was he was a successful politician.
Yes or no? Would you allow the cities to ignore the federal law?
No.
Oh, Joe Biden said no.
If you're a criminal, you'll be deported.
And if we change the definition, of what a criminal is, then, you can circumvent some sort of enforcement mechanism.
Immigration is not a right.
Oh, that's awesome. Immigration is not a right. Barbara Jordan, former representative, Democrat, Texas. Hey.
It is a privilege.
It is a privilege.
Granted by the people of the United States to those we choose to admit.
There you go. This is not your grandparents' Democrat Party, mind you. David chiming in, I've had the same creepy experiences traveling around Mexico. Always something shady. Yeah, in New Mexico, apparitions on the Arroyo. And a UFO. And a hot plate. Yes, and because of all these illegal aliens, never leave your cave without your club. You got it, Ortho. Ghost. Hey, Maggie. Sort of like a Scooby-Doo. My zoinks. Oh, I haven't listened to those voices in a while. Casey Kasem.
Simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked.
Just because your child gets across the border, that doesn't mean the child gets to stay.
Where is this Democrat Party? I'm seeing how ineffective some of these rhinos are blocking the Save America Act. I feel like I should vote for some of these people. Of course, they're selling a bill of goods, or more likely they changed their strategy when they realized they had no other way to retain any power and control, but I digress.
First thing is we need to secure the border.
We need to enforce our borders. We need
There's Dianne Feinstein.
To address the issue of immigration and the challenge we have of undocumented people in our country. We certainly don't want any more coming in.
What changed? DHS put this out. Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen and Customs and Border Protection. This is an official government account putting this out, and it's good. Show the compilation. Like the people.
We need strong border security.
The border. They're missing the mark. Talk about missing the mark. Let's listen to Houston's Soros-funded district attorney claiming that ICE agents. Well, take a listen. This is on CBS, allegedly. Houston's Soros-funded district attorney on ICE.
It appears from everything we've seen that either these agents are completely untrained or intentionally putting themselves in situations where they can justify firing into cars. It appears from
that they're not untrained. They are trained. We know this. And they're reviewing the policy. And yes, if there's any way we can, all right, if you stop someone, do you need to box them in with another car? Do you need to hook a tire with something so they can't get away? And you can reduce because that's the other thing. You go tearing off from a stop, trying to flee because you don't want to get sent back to El Salvador, as if that's our problem. It's not. I'm all for looking at ways to improve the system, but stopping automobile stops, that ain't it. But then Tom Homan is basically saying, no, we're not stopping. Like we've paused it and we're just making sure we are trained and we are revising our protocols, but our protocols are pretty good. We're just double checking. We're making sure we're all on the same page. That's good. That's good. That's what you would want. That's what you would want. We also don't want paid AstroTurf rioters at the behest of some NGOs or nonprofits or Democrat Party. But I repeat myself 3 times. Paying idiots to go out there and start a war, start a fight. They're looking for a Crispus Attucks moment. You lousy lobster-coated bastards. The Boston Massacre. There's a bunch of colonists kind of ganging up on the British troops and throwing shit at them until somebody fired a shot. And then a little skirmish broke out and it left some people dead and it rallied the colonists against the king. The Democrats are looking for their George Floyd moment. In 2020, they were able to take one case of one dude up in Minneapolis. And because of everybody being locked up and frustrated and angry in the heat of the summer, pushing the riots to make it seem like America's a terrible place. And I'm so tired of hearing America's a terrible place. We can always be better. Everything is on the table if it can make us better. But, this guy is a clown.
It appears
when the person
Whitney Cummings.
When the person.
This is an interesting story about Trump's media savvy. Nitty Gritty podcast? I don't know. Take a listen about Trump.
Being roasted goes up at the end.
Yeah. About when Trump got roasted. What year was this? Was this 2015? I don't know if it's saying what year, but I believe that she's talking about before he decided to run.
Yeah. That's where it gets interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because I can't just go, hey guys, come to this roast and roast me. You guys are all my friends. And then I'm just like, it's kind of, it has to sort of be about something else. And that is what Donald Trump really knew. I mean, the guy's like a media genius,
A media genius.
Quite obviously. But so they kept telling us, he's going to run for president. Like there's this fact sheet. And we're like, okay, we're talking about his college. He had a steak business. He had, he's had every sort
Apprentice,
of
all that.
All of it.
Yeah.
And so we're going all these other ways, the hotels and the da-da-da. And we're ignoring the president thing. We're just like, that's a stunt. It's silly. Like, what are you talking
hilarious.
about? And then, we go up and we do the this and your dick and you're this and you're that and da-da. And
yeah, so they're roasting Trump, but they're not really roasting him for wanting to be a president at that point.
And then he gets up there and, I'm like, great. He's going to call me a whore. He's going to call everyone, whatever. And he gets up and he goes, this is what's wrong with America. All these Hollywood elites beating up on a self-made man.
Ooh.
And we're like, what?
He was dead ass?
What? Call me a whore. Call me a slut. Call me a cumface. What's happening? What's he doing? And he that was like his first step.
Trying to be like.
In being like likable, and it was genius. And
Well, it wasn't his first step in trying to be likable. The dude's attended all the weddings and all the events and all the things for the past 40 years. I mean, you have that clip from the 1980s where Trump was talking about, like, would you run for president with Oprah? He's like, I don't. He's like, I don't think I would. It's really nasty. He used to talk really soft. Young Trump had a different way of talking. I need to find a way like Frank Caliendo. He does the soft Trump. There's soft Trump when he's tired. He's been working 18 hours that day and he's exasperated. And it's easier on the throat. I like to do the rip roaring campaign Trump a little. They said it's a little bit of an outburst. But yeah, it's not his first foray into this, but yeah.
And people started blaming us for, like, you made him likable. You made him seem like an underdog. Like, the roast was like his first sort of like step.
Because then didn't he do SNL?
Yeah, I believe so. And then Alec Baldwin did him forever or whatever. But it was like,
Alec Baldwin was not a good Trump.
Like, when you do the roast, it makes everybody love you because they see you can have a sense of humor about yourself. And Donald Trump, he would every time.
There's been no funnier president. I know that much, but I love the comedy world. I do want to turn, either the TNAM Daily Show or the TNAM PM Show a little bit more into something with like a monologue, telling some jokes about the current events in the news. I would love that. I'd love to get into, I was talking to Blake about maybe doing some more music, doing different interviews, there's so much. I love what I do. I love just digging through the news, but I also have ideas for other stuff. So I just love how the comedy is made. I love these types of stories for like the background on it. It's the process is fascinating to me, especially since I've decided to go on stage and perform stand-up comedy in many different venues. And I do want to get back on stage again real soon. Stay tuned on that. But it's an art form I've always respected. I've loved sketch comedy shows and roasts and stand-up comedy and comedy albums and comedy movies and going to see, like, I just love laughter. It's my favorite.
You'd hit him hard. He'd be like, ooh, right? And so I went up. Yeah, totally.
And then Melania.
I went up and I was like, bah, 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 bah.
A good Melania fist.
And then afterwards, you customarily go up and say, like, thank you for being such a good sport. And I went hard. And he was kind of like, and I truly kind of felt bad. And I went up to him and he pulled me in and he just went, that was great television. Great television. I was like, I hadn't even heard that term. The
professional stand-up comic hadn't heard that term. That's great television. President Trump held the #1 running television program year after year after year after year on NBC, The Apprentice. I never even really used to watch it. I was aware of it, but I never really used to watch it. Yeah, he's very media savvy. But anyway, I found that interesting. That's Whitney Cummings. She's made me laugh.
I need help.
All right, so check this out. Canadian couple, non-citizen, arrested.
Help. I don't know what to do. My wife is being detained by ICE. She's in Ocean
He conveniently leaves out why his wife was arrested.
County Jail right now, and I can't get a hold of her.
Allegedly assaulting a teen that was wearing MAGA clothing. Assaulting a teenager who had MAGA clothing on because you're a deranged Canadian lunatic.
She keeps trying to call me, but they won't let me put money on her card.
Yeah. Non-citizen commits an assault, deportation. Should be pretty.
The kiosk in the Toms River jail is broken, and all the numbers and stuff they gave me wasn't right or wouldn't allow me to put money on her card. And ICE is coming there to pick her up. I need an immigration lawyer. I need help. I don't know what to do. I don't have any money. I'm so fucking broke. But I gotta figure something out. I gotta save her. I need help. I need you to figure out. I don't know. This just happened. I need help. I need my wife. I don't want her to get hurt. I don't want to see her get. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Yesterday, July 13th, my wife.
You're gonna come into our house and start assaulting our people because you don't like our commander-in-chief. Let me grab the world's tiniest violin where it says, I'm cool with foreigners coming in here and assaulting teenagers that they disagree with politically. No, thanks. I'm out on that.
Wife was detained by ICE and brought to Delaney Hall in Newark, New Jersey. My wife is a Canadian citizen and I'm an American citizen. We've been married for a little over 3 years, and I'm just doing anything I can to get her story heard and bring any help to and attention to her situation so that I can get her released, even if that means back to Canada. I don't care what your opinions are of me or the situation. That's kind of irrelevant. All that matters is her safety and her well-being. And to all the people who want to spread rumors and misinformation, I hope you find peace one day, but you are vile. I need help. I don't.
Canadian wife allegedly arrested for allegedly assaulting a teen girl wearing Trump-themed attire in New Jersey. So let's see how that shakes out. Yeah, this dude is going for an Academy Award. It seemed very performative. Who is he talking to? It was more of a monologue. Monologue. What's that name? Monologue. One more time. Monologue. Bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. No, that's monorail, not monologue. Monologue. Actually, that would be a really fun intro. I once did a silly little lunch with Larry Elder interview intro. Monologue, monorail, song, intro, TNAM Daily Show. Like if I could sing that for like 3 seconds. Monologue. What's it called? Monologue. One more time. Monologue. Mono. No. That'd be a great little 7-second clip to play right before the monologue. A little stinger. Hey, Jamie, put that on the list of the 1,000 things that I intend to do someday, but I might not actually do it. But just put it on the list in case one day I decide to open up my editing software and make it happen. Thanks, Jamie. P.S. I'm Jamie. Kenneth off the top ropes with the elbow. $10 super chat. He needs Yelp. Thank you so much, Kenneth. Appreciate you. Kenneth just threw a quarter or a couple quarters or a 50-cent piece, a silver 50-cent piece pre-1964 into the tip jar. Thank you. That's good. We're halfway through July, people. So yeah, we want those July numbers to be super strong here so that we can keep the lights on at this fine establishment. We appreciate all of your continued support immensely. It is appreciated. It's necessary, and it's super helpful. Thank you so much, Kenneth. And yeah, once again, please consider becoming a monthly subscriber on Patreon, Rumble, or YouTube, as well as Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal if you'd like to support the program. All right, so I'm sure we'll see more about that guy and that story in the days and weeks to come. Immigrant comes in and attacks somebody for wearing political swag you disagree with. Well, get the hell out of here. Like, what are we even doing? All right. Why is Fort Knox trending? Let's see what this is. 1 trillion in confirmed gold at Fort Knox. The gold is still there. Says Scott Bessent. Really? Well, it should be way more than 1 trillion, though, huh? I haven't. People on my staff have. All gold is present and accounted for. U.S. has the largest pile of gold in the world, over $1 trillion at current market value. And we're getting more gold from Venezuela, I hear. We're getting a lot from Venezuela. So we'll see what happens when that comes up for that speech tomorrow, that President Trump, big news developing. I think it's going to be Venezuela related, election fraud related, Georgia related. Hopefully we're just going to see some indictments at 3 a.m. this morning and just call out what we've known for year after year after year. This whole system has been rigged against us for a very long time. All right. Well, this is the point where I might consider taking the pause and the pivot. Pivot. This is normally where I would go through the X account, but we've done a couple hours already. And if there's a way for me to do a show this evening, this would be a great point to press pause, and then I could get into some of these stories in the evening without totally burning out my quiver of arrows in one massive marathon episode. Maybe have one at this part of the day and then one later. I think that's what I'm going to aim for, folks. Oh, check this out. David Band says 852 pounds of gold and lots of cash confiscated by Iraqi officials. 852 pounds of gold and lots of cash confiscated by Iraqi officials. Yeah, and the U.S. has been meeting with Iraqi officials lately. Mark's saying the Knoxville Vault gold is valued at $35 an ounce. Yeah, I know. Rob and others are saying, like, let's do evening shows. We can get different people in the evenings than we can get during midday. Yeah, it's just that I'm not always available in the evenings. That's when comedy performances are. That's when sporting events are. Evening shows are not theoretically the best for me to be on a consistent, steady schedule. But for now, it might make sense. And moving forward, maybe it will be the best time for me to do the shows. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll put a pin in this one. Yeah, Ortho agrees. Evenings would be great. A lot of you do. Does gold get old, Kenneth? No. Gold gets great. Feel free to throw some gold back there. We have, geez, actually, that's a great question now that I'm thinking about what is the highest amount of tip we've received here at TNAM? That's it. That's an interesting question. What is the highest super chat or Rumble Rant tip that we've had? In person, a supporter slipped $100 into my hand. That was great at an event covering news. And I mean, that goes right into the gas tank. It's like, well, it took 3 tanks of gas to drive out to this event, or, there and back, a tank and a half both times. I mean, you're probably talking $240 in gas. Like, well, that almost paid for half of the gas to attend this event for free, to get the word out, to get the story out, to try to talk to people and provide original source documentary evidence of what's happening instead of believing an official narrative. John sent us a batch of mugs. By the way, if you want a mug, shoot me a Venmo. They're $40. Includes shipping and handling. John says if you mention Rumble, we'll do it for half price. So go on Venmo and just shoot $20 over and go send me a mug along with your address. We'll mail you a mug. But yeah, that was very generous to make that. Yeah, John sent a batch of the New American Media mugs. That was a great donation. We had several people during Hurricane Helene donate several $100s a piece to directly contribute to the efforts of Grizzly and his team that were supplying so many of those life-saving materials in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene flooding. But yeah, have we had $100 Rumble Ranter super chat? I don't think so. I'd love to start the $1,000 challenge, but for now we'll do the $100 challenge for one of these days. Can somebody do it? But yeah, we're halfway through July, so let's see what we can do. I appreciate all of you. Maybe Dina would show up in the evening. Yeah. Yeah, Marion and John are like, the evenings are not good. Kenneth's like, no, evenings are not good. And I'm like, I know. There's no time that's going to work for everybody. But yeah. Especially if Blake wants to hop on some of these, maybe I could kind of slide into. It's different when you do different shows. If I'm doing a one-on-one interview with somebody, that's not what I'd be doing with Blake, because he's been on hundreds and hundreds of pieces of content over the 15 years, editing the documentary Hurricane Helene Help on the Way, for example. Yeah, I get to slide like into a co-host and producer role. And it lets me navigate the whole show a little differently. It's interesting. It's fun in a different way. Yeah, and being a morning person, me so morning person. Oh, me so morning. Oh, me so morning. I've pondered doing a very early show. But for now, I think we covered a lot of ground. There's a lot of stories we're leaving on the table. If you want to get a sneak peek, follow us on X at American_media_ right there on the screen. And just scroll down. There's a whole lot happening. And I'll aim for that. I'll aim to go live tonight at 9-ish. Yes, Marion, you're absolutely right. You can please some of the people some of the time. That's all you can do, Brian. You can't please all the people all the time. That is correct. But it has pleased me greatly to hang out with all of you in chat today, talking about the stories. And, you know, that deep dive on the Charlie Kirk thing, maybe the next day we'll do a deep dive on the footage. Was there super resolution footage that Benny Johnson and others claims to have seen? Or was it the same exact sort of kind of from far grainy footage that you can't 100% identify that it's Tyler Robinson? Maybe each day we should do a deep dive on the case. I don't know. But I'm staying open to it. My mind has not been fully made up and decided on any of these things yet. So anyway, for now, thank you all for being here on the TNAM Daily Show. Signing out on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe. I appreciate you. I love you. And we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.